Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP wins as the world falls apart, quite frankly. I got a few stories I want to run through in this latest Moon Lambo hot jam. But look, here's the idea. Look, as the United States dollar and other fiat currencies around the world continue to be debased, just printing the dollar into oblivion, how are people responding to this? Well, a lot of people, and it's a narrative, but I still think there's a lot of truth to this narrative. Not that, in terms of price action, I'm not saying that we wouldn't have this bullish market cycle anyway, but people are treating their investments a little bit different than they otherwise would. And cryptocurrency is, at this point, it's accepted as a viable as a viable asset class. And so what you're seeing is, as inflation is creeping up, as governments around the world are abusing their own fiat currencies, money's pouring into crypto. And yes, it does start with Bitcoin, but it ultimately flows to other cryptocurrencies, including XRP. And it's just so fascinating because, like, XRP, its primary use case, as I record this anyway, it's as a bridge currency, right? That's its most well-known popular use case, helping the legacy financial system, despite the fact that the legacy financial system is it's having a bit of trouble lately. But it's still here to help it convert from one fiat currency to another. But then it also does get invested in for other reasons, including store of value. I think that is a legitimate thing. I believe that any cryptocurrency that has long-term viability will also get that additional use case of store of value. And so, yes, money's flowing into Bitcoin first, leading the market, but the market moves in tandem. So all of this absolutely benefits XRP. And, it's just XRP can't fix bad monetary policy, but it certainly can be a bridge currency. And so, look, there's always a bull market somewhere. There always is. Money's always got to flow somewhere. And right now, we are still in a crypto bull market cycle. We're in the bull portion right now, despite what's happened over the last couple weeks or so in terms of negative price action. But crypto makes a lot of sense. And if I could only invest in one asset class for the next decade, I would pick the crypto asset class. I don't even need a second thought about it. And so there's that. And then there's this... there's this article here, 99% of cryptocurrencies are overpriced, says a crypto king Barry Silbert, which is always a fun topic of conversation. Then there's this one also. I like Bitcoin as portfolio diversifier, billionaire Paul Tudor Jones. So indeed, I think he's got a net worth of about $7 billion. Hedge fund guy, and he's in. I wanted to highlight this too, though. This is ridiculous. Freaking Goldman Sachs. This is why we can't have nice things, folks. Here's the headline from you today. Goldman Sachs, crypto not a viable investment. Blockchain may become obsolete. Like, okay, guys. It's the funniest damn thing. And I'll tell you why here. Like, before I even get into this, like a year ago, Goldman Sachs, they had a presentation, and I think it may have been like a slide slipped out or something like this and hit the public. And I remember tearing this to shreds when it happened in May of last year. They said that cryptocurrency, or maybe it was Bitcoin specifically, it's not an asset class, which is just absurd. And I said, you just wait until they find a way to make money from Bitcoin, and then they're going to be all in it. And so then what happened? It actually happened last month. Here's the headline from May 7th of last year. Goldman Sachs internal memo unveils new cryptocurrency trading team. So there you go. They jumped on in. And so I thought, okay, so maybe that will be the end of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that they spread about Bitcoin and crypto, but apparently not. It's all gonna be obsolete, folks. There you go. So I don't know if they're just trying to spread a false narrative to get people to freak out and then they can buy cheaper. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it is ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. But to end of this piece, 99% of cryptocurrencies are overpriced, says crypto king Barry Silbert. So yes, indeed, as the world continues to fall apart. Look, here's the thing. Like, you know what the best thing to do? I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold, but I think there's enough data out there in the world to indicate that whether you're buying stocks or investing in the crypto asset class, the best thing that you can do is nothing. Just sit there and hold, not try and time markets. And I do believe that's true, but crypto's in a bit of a unique position, and I'll acknowledge this too, and it's a fun thing to talk about, I think, because utility almost matters 0% today. It matters to me. and it may matter to you. I'm saying that in terms of price action, it matters almost 0%. The whole market's just moving in tandem, which is just an indication of how immature the asset class is. And so everything's getting treated the same. People are not sufficiently parsing out the differences between cryptocurrencies from a tech perspective or utility perspective. None of that whatsoever. But at some point, it is going to matter. And that's why with XRP, this is one of the many reasons I feel so confident and comfortable holding XRP, because I don't know when that's going to flip. I don't know when someday, or it could happen over some period of time. I don't think it's just like, snap of a finger, okay, now utility matters. But you're going to see a world where that does matter, and maybe it'll happen this coming bear market. I don't know. But the good news about XRP is when that happens, which I think is inevitable, XRP will be valuable then too. So like right now, it's valuable in the sense that, in terms of investing, I think anyway, because the market moves in tandem, so it's like hard to pick a loser. It's hard to. But since it won't always be like that, when eventually people care a whole lot more about this, my gosh, I'll be well situated, which is why I've always felt, over the last 3.5 years that I've been holding XRP, I've felt much better because I don't know when that change is actually going to happen, but it's coming. And so into this piece, Digital Currency Group CEO Barry Silbert has revealed his bearish views on the market in a series of recent tweets, claiming that 99% of cryptocurrencies are overpriced. Prior to that, the Crypto King disclosed that he was long the CBOE Volatility Index. Now, Silbert has mentioned investor complacency, speculative excess, and the lack of trust in the U.S. Federal Reserve among the things that could spark macro fireworks. The S&P 500 index hit yet another all-time high last week amid concerns surrounding recent inflation data. And so that's all fair. I think that these are all perfectly fair comments. I think most of these cryptocurrencies are frankly just going to go to zero at some point anyway. I think money's going to flow where problems are being solved, so that would be XRP and other cryptos that actually have functional use cases, right? Go figure, right? And so that'll result in the lack of liquidity for anything else that isn't solving a problem. Those markets will dry up. So even if the blockchains don't technically ever stop existing, because there's a handful of people that just hang on fine, there's going to be no liquidity effectively, and the market price is going to plummet for all these, and they will go away. And so, yes, pretty much every cryptocurrency on the planet is overpriced even before the bull run portion of this market cycle kicked in, even before that, because they shouldn't exist. But it's okay. The markets are messy, but then they're figuring it out. It just takes time. I get it. Now this, I like Bitcoin as portfolio diversifier. Billionaire Paul Tudor Jones. That's the headline from You Today. U.S. billionaire and hedge fund manager Paul Tudor Jones has been talking to the CNBC at the Squawk Box Show and shared his take on why Bitcoin's market capitalization has been growing, but the price of gold to United States dollars has hardly increased. Yeah, indeed. So I'll just say this. Bitcoin and crypto is eating gold's lunch. I don't know what gold's price would be if blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies didn't exist, but it would be higher than it is today, to some degree, right? Because if you want to hedge against inflation in tumultuous times, historically gold's been the place to go. I think that's fair to say. But now you got a new competitor, which I think is why the likes of Peter Schiff, Goldbug Peter Schiff, maybe not so thrilled. But anyway, Paul Tudor Jones first started praising Bitcoin in 2020 when he stated that Bitcoin could be the new gold while altcoins were more like copper. In an interview on October 22nd, when the flagship crypto began surpassing the $11,000 level and went to $15,000, he stated that it was, quote, in its first inning, end quote. Now, Jones has confirmed that he likes Bitcoin since this is something he can diversify his portfolio with. He believes 5% of Bitcoin is enough for him. And so think about that, even just having 5%. Because we have enough data to know. Like, if you had 5% of your portfolio in Bitcoin over the last decade, like, you became rich, right? And so what's going to happen is if you have 5%, even just 5% over the next decade, what do you think's going to happen? And even if it's not specifically Bitcoin, just crypto in general. It's like, I feel bad for the people that don't get this stuff and are just missing out, because they're gonna end up, having the benefit of hindsight at some point down the road. And it's going to be a coulda, woulda, shoulda type of game. But this is it's a once in a species opportunity right now. I kid you not. This has never happened before. It will never happen again. And I can't believe that I'm so fortunate to live in the time when this is happening. Yeah, I wish I'd found out about it sooner than 2017, because that's when I found out about it and jumped in. But still, My gosh, that's pretty darn close to the beginning, the inception of all of this. It is in the scheme of things, because this stuff's going to be here in another 100 years. So it's early days right now, but that's the reason there's so much opportunity. The markets are so illiquid, there's almost no money in it, and that's why as money starts coming in, it doesn't take much money flowing in to get a doubling, tripling, quadrupling effect in terms of price action for these cryptos. It's amazing. It's the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of mankind, and I'm participating. And if you're listening, I'm guessing you are too. That's why I don't get scared about all the negative downside price action here. When it happens, I just sit here and hold, because the best thing that the data proves, the best thing that people can do is precisely nothing. Trying to fix the problem, and be a savvy investor when things are scary. Like you what are you gonna do? Panic sell the bottom, FOMO at the top? Like, this is what people do. It's not good. And so anyway, now Goldman Sachs, crypto not a viable investment. Blockchain may become obsolete. In its June cryptocurrency report entitled Digital Assets Beauty is Not in the Eye of the Beholder, Goldman Sachs Investment Strategy Group, which is responsible for the banking giant's private wealth management, writes that cryptocurrencies are, quote, not a viable investment, end quote, for its clients. What in the ever-loving hell is going on here? What's with the back and forth here? It's like the left hand doesn't know what the right's doing. The group's analysts point out that greater regulatory oversight is the biggest risk faced by the cryptocurrency ecosystem. As reported by You Today, Gary Gensler, the chair of the U.S. SEC, said that investors didn't have full protections in the crypto market. And so I think he was in the report that they're citing. I think they're talking about just regulating cryptocurrency exchanges further. Okay, whatever. But the fact that crypto, just like every other asset class, is going to be regulated and is regulated, it doesn't mean that it's going to go away. That's silly nonsense. Anyway, in addition, Goldman notes that tech advances could make blockchain obsolete, even though it expects the technology to make enterprise operations more efficient and prevent the abuse of personal data. Finally, the bank also raised alarm over Bitcoin's energy consumption, claiming that it could discourage broader adoption. So look, there's a lot of reasons that you can be critical of Bitcoin. A lot of them are very valid, including the energy one, but even the energy critique is not going to stop Bitcoin. People have decided that they don't care, and so you're not going to shut it down. And so it's nice that people are working towards, getting it closer to being, how do you want to word it? Like using renewable energy. Okay, fine, but in the meantime, it's an absolute energy hog, and it's not like there wasn't enough demand for new technology, renewable energy that's cheap and stuff. It's like this isn't going to push that any further. There was no shortage of demand for it. There just isn't supply of it. It doesn't exist, right? By and large. Goldman Sachs, I don't freaking know. I don't know if they're just trying to scare people or what, but this is silly nonsense, and I don't buy it. And I'm just going to sit here and do what? Absolutely nothing. I'm going to hold. I feel great every day. Let me know what you think. I'll wrap up here, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.